Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to Avorion. It's episode 2, and first of all I want to very much thank you for all your very enthusiastic comments on episode 1. Episode 1 was received a hell of a lot better than I'd expected. I thought this was not going to be a terribly popular series, but in fact it's turning out to be quite that. Or at least I think it's going to be a promising series of, let's say, a second tier. It's not going to be hugely popular content, but I think it's going to make an interesting staple of the channel for now. Right, so what happened previously is that I set up this little ship over here. And this is my mining craft. I want to try and automate this craft as quickly as possible. And for that, I'm going to need a captain. Now, I have a decent amount of money. I have 100,000 over here. And that's going to give me enough to get started. Because a captain's only going to set me back 15,000. Before I forget, I turned on the music of the game. I'm going to turn it down just a little more. Because somebody was asking, can you run some sort of smooth jazz in the background, maybe as a test, as a tryout. I'm instead going to go with the music from the game itself and see if that's something that is going to work. So again, let me know what you guys think and what your opinions are, because I'm very much using this series to experiment and see what works well. Now over here we have this habitat. The habitat apparently does have a captain. So I need to zoom my way over there and then get that captain on board. And the next plan for this part is to get this ship automated, and that means I'm going to need another ship. So we'll be needing a bit of titanium probably. We'll be needing a bit more iron, mayhaps. And then it's time to build another ship. And that's going to be more of a fighter-oriented craft, although my amount of defenses are lackluster. Since I don't have any shields, all the damage that I take is immediately going to impact my hull. Fortunately, the game has an auto-repair feature, and that means that whatever damage I take gets slowly healed over time. But that's kind of the problem, it gets healed over time. You don't really heal instantly. Well, you can. There is, if I go into the editor, this repair button, and the repair button allows you to very quickly repair a craft at the expense of resources and credits, so cash. Neither of those I have in abundance at the moment, so I'd rather not take the quick repair option, unless I am in dire need of it, and instead rely on the mechanics to fix the ship slowly over time. I'm going to try and draw up that new ship that I want to build entirely out of titanium, and with that have a light, quick fighter craft that I can use to swoop in when there's a pirate attack, which does happen from time to time, and allow my little fighter craft to do a bit of assisting. And once it's done assisting killing the pirates, I'll be getting a bit of credits from the faction that owns the territory. Aside from that, I'll be switching over some of the upgrades that I have on this ship. I want to have the radar on the new ship, since this ship is probably just going to be in this area for the moment, where it's going to continue to mine, and it's going to continue to mine automatically. So while I'm off on my pirate chasing adventures, this ship over here is going to just continue to do circles through the sector, trying to find new asteroids to mine, and with that get more stuff for me in the background. The more automation you have going, the more comfortable you can become in this game. In another game that I have running, let's say the off-screen one that I sometimes use for tutorials, I have a whole bunch of off-screen miners. I have a bunch of off-screen mines as well. And the mines make me money, while the miners get me resources. And while all that's going on, I can just casually do my fighting, get the upgrades that I want for my ship, and beyond that, get a bit more expansion for the ship, because it's a constant growing project. Alright, let's get this done. There, we now have 3,800 titanium. So let's get the drone out. And this is how quickly I have grown this ship out. And this is a tiny ship compared to what you can build. My mining drone, by contrast, is positively miniature though. This is the mining drone, and this is the mining ship. That's the Venture that I cast up in the previous episode. So I'm getting a bit of distance, making sure that I don't accidentally ram into that ship as I'm building it. 1.6 clicks should be fine. So it's time to found a new craft. It's going to cost me 500 iron yet again. And this one is going to be Let's see, we already had the Venture. I really like the name Defiant, but I'm going to go with some more, let's say, Dutch names. So this is going to be the Zeven Provinciën, which is how our country was known for a while, as we were 7 provinces working together. Now, what am I going to need on this craft? I'm going to need a couple of crew quarters. I'm going to need a couple of engines. I'm going to need a generator. And the generator I'm going to stick in the center of the ship. So let's make this block a little longer. And I'm now generating 3.47 gigawatts. I think I might need a bit more. There, 5.78. That is also really quite an expensive block to build. So the amount of credits that I have is... Actually, no, yeah. You know what? I'm going to take off this part. I might need the cash. I can always grow this ship out bigger later. Titanium integrity field generator, making sure I don't immediately get my ass shot off. Or rather, get parts shot off when the ship starts to take damage. It's not exactly a shield generator, but I think it distributes the damage that you take over the ship entirely. And that allows you to then, well, sort of take a bit more damage. Right, what else? How do I want to set the ship up? Let's first enable mirror mode. The thing with a combat craft, as some of you have pointed out in the comment section, is that the sleeker it gets, the less of a target profile you're presenting. So having a ship that's very wide, let's say something like that, could actually be counterproductive. Because if I have a ship that's set up like this, I'm not only presenting a bigger target platform from the top, like that, but I'm also from the front creating a much wider target profile. So I'll try to go for a relatively sleek, narrow ship, which still has a bit of armor on it, and that's going to be titanium armor. High durability, high mass, stops railgun projectiles, and it has a very high collision damage reduction. The important for this ship is that it's going to have a lot of maneuverability. I want it to be fast, I want it to be able to turn quick, and I want it to be able to do very quick turnarounds to make sure that I can actually get the weapons pointed back at the target. For that, I'm going to go with a couple of thruster blocks instead of the blocks that I was using previous. First, let's try and set up a general shape of the ship. Let's see, no, I needed to do it like that. If I do it like this, I can have a sort of an angle towards the front where I set up my guns. Let's see, we'll go with a blank hole first. Like that. That's where I can set up my guns. And I only have 2 guns that I got from the let's say the stock build. It's 2 chain gun turrets. So it's not going to be anything stellar. Now, let's try and get these things made a little sleeker. Nope, not that way. This way. And then maybe not too wide. Let's go with the titanium angle here. How wide or how long were these? 2 by 2 by 7. 1 by 2 by 5. I'm going to need a bit more by 7. There you go. Alright, titanium edge. I can transform most of these blocks into armor, and I probably will at some point. Alright, so let's remove the turrets for now. Get these things spun around. Now I have created this little encasement over here. And with that, I can also build out the ship a bit more later. Unfortunately, I think the integrity field generator... No, sorry, it does still protect everything. So for the moment, it's fine. Right. More of these angles. And then another one of these blocks, so I can make the ship a little wider. But more importantly, I can now set up thruster blocks. I want to have directional thrusters, which are pushing the ship over here. So rotate those around. And now I have a perfect line over here, so that I have the ship set up proper. I can roll by 3.05 radius per second, I think. which is not really as much as I would like. This is going to add a bit, but if I build them on the outside, it's going to add a bit more. Alternatively, I could just add a couple of gyros. These are going to produce yaw. They'll also take up more power. But I believe I have plenty of power as is. I'm only requiring 141 megawatts of power, and I have 3.47 gigawatts. So that's the yaw, at least to some extent. Oh crap, I'm running out of titanium. Oh, those are really expensive blocks to build. Alright, in that case, maybe a bit of an adjustment, or I'll have to do a bit more mining first. With this, I can speed up and slow down, although my deceleration is bad. 24.4 meters per second. And I haven't even built the engines yet. This is probably going to take a bit more work than I had hoped. Because this... Oh, this is not too expensive. This is just another... What was it? 300 titanium, I think. So that's survivable. Then I can have my 2 chain guns over here on the nose. Let's put the titanium thrusters in the back. That's going to give me an acceleration of 105, but a decel of 19. So I'm going to have to build some parts of the ship, at least temporarily, out of iron. And I don't quite like doing that, because iron is heavy. And a heavy ship is not a ship that turns particularly well. I'm going to try and fit these titanium dampeners up here in the front, making sure I slow down quite a bit more aggressively. It's going to cut into my... No, never mind. My maximum velocity is fine. The deceleration is now 78. What I do not quite have enough of yet is yaw and pitch. In order to make the pitch a bit more aggressive, I can put another thruster in the front. Actually, a directional thruster that pushes the ship down. No, not that much. That's a bit on the aggressive end. Make it a bit bigger and a bit wider. There. Now my pitch has improved a bit. I'm still not quite happy with it. Let's see how the ship handles for now. Although it is hard to tell because I don't have enough crew, I don't have enough mechanics, I don't have acceleration because I don't have engineers, and I don't have any... Yeah, I'm missing everything basically. Let's see, what does the shipyard have available crew-wise? They have engineers, they have mechanics, they have miners, and they have a bunch of crew members. So let's head over there. In this very much unfinished ship. And try to get there, pick up the crew, and that should at least improve some of the specs. In the meanwhile, I can have the Venture go on an auto-mine adventure. No wordplay there. There goes the Venture. Looks to find additional asteroids. I'm not sure which one's going to go for first. It could be iron, it could be titanium. Aside from that, there's not really anything to mine at this point. Xanian is simply not found in these regions. There we go. And yep, it has found an iron rock, because I'm getting a little bit of iron. It's ticking in slowly there on the bottom right hand side. Now, this ship is really dreadfully slow without engineers on it. Without engineers, I cannot properly use the engines. Let's see, there's the dock. You can see the tractor beams over here, which are trying to drag in another ship, assisted with docking. Especially the bigger ships. They sometimes tend to have a bit of difficulty getting into a dock. They might not always be the most maneuverable ships. Now, one thing that the ship really doesn't do very well, and you can see it by trying to turn, is turning left and right. And that's because I don't have any thrusters which are pushing the ship left and or right. So that is something that I definitely have to work on. I might put that in the bow of the ship. Let's see, where are your docking bays? Here's a docking bay. I can just squeeze this little thing in between myself and that other docked ship. Or sorry, between the shipyard and that other docked ship. Alright, what do I need? What do I absolutely need? I need at least one engineer. I need a couple of gunners and I need 2 mechanics. I'm going to go for quite a bit more than that, provided that I can afford it. Because this ship's going to grow a lot more. So let's go for 4 engineers. Maximum amount of mechanics, so I can repair the ship faster. I will now also need a sergeant. Let's go for 2 of those. The ship is overpopulated. That is unfortunate, but so be it. There she goes. She's at least a bit more maneuverable now. And now I need to add a crew quarters to make sure that I can actually get these crew seated somewhere. Let's put the directional thruster here. That's going to allow me to turn the ship at least a bit faster than what it currently is doing. Over here, but then wider. There. Alright, so that should help. Yeah, it's pushing the ship out a bit faster, but not quite to my liking. Crew quarters. For the moment, it's going to have to be iron, because I simply cannot afford the upgraded variant yet. Let's put those over here on the top. Let's make them as wide as the crew quarters. And that provides me with 26 crew quarters only, so I'm going to have to go with something a bit longer. Like that. Now I have 41 slots. So it's a bit better. Alright, what sort of gyros can I afford? Because this ship still needs a lot more pitch control than it's currently getting. Let's make it a bit sleeker. And if I can squeeze that into this gap, that'd be lovely. There. Okay, pitch is now 3.14. Roll is 2.42. And yaw left and right, that is still a big issue. So if I add another block here, that's going to help with my yaw quite a bit. But this is a relatively small block. So what I need to do is make it longer. There, now I have 2 degrees of yaw, or 2 radius, I think. 3.7. Does that stick out the back? It doesn't. Okay, excellent. It does not stick out the back. Right, so now the ship should be a hell of a lot more maneuverable. Yep. Much, much zippier to move around. What I do not yet have are gunners. I can use the standard crew for that. But maybe another dock has actual gunners available. There we go. The equipment dock has some gunners. So let's head over to the equipment dock. And I can now do that with the boost. And my speed's now up to 2,000 meters per second. So that's 6 kilometers per second and change. The energy usage for the ship is still well under control. Although, slowing down, it's not something it does very well. Should have known that. Here we go. Let's bring her into dock. Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa. Here we go. Alright, I need at least a couple of gunners. Let's go with the maximum amount. I know it's going to cost a bit of money, but it's doable. In the meanwhile, my other ship is bringing in iron, which is very welcome. And they're doing it pretty damn quick as well. That's about 800 iron that I just scored, so it probably was working on cracking a big rock. And it looks like it completed that now. What this ship can also use is a double iron salvaging turret. And this turret is going to allow it to very quickly refine alloys, so a ship that I have broken up, into smaller bits. Which then I can use in order to build the ship bigger again. So this is something that I really want on my ship. It is low tier, but at this point anything is going to help. What else? Oh, the ship's overpopulated again. Okay, lovely. I can get a generator upgrade, which is going to give me 35% more generated power, with another 17% if I add it permanently. Shield reinforcer is not useful because I don't have any shields anyway. Turret control is unaffordable, and an advanced trading system is not what I need. So let's at least go for the generator upgrade. Oh crap, I need more money. Yeah, unaffordable. Better guns? Not really a thing, because I cannot fit enough guns on here anyway. My guns, I think, are limited to 2 slots only. Yeah, I do have room for 1 unarmed turret slot, and that's going to be that double iron salvaging turret. I'm gonna put that on the nose as well. And then set these things up as 2 different groups. I only want to be firing Group 2 when the enemy ship's been destroyed. But I can use Group 2, so the double iron salvaging turret, as an actual weapon. Because it does do damage against the hull. And it's a bit weird, but you can sort of strip ships to pieces while they are flying. It's like you're eating something alive. Now I'm going to try and at least fill up this little hole between the engines, because I don't really like the look of that. It does look like the generator, or the structural integrity field generator is doing its job. So I don't really need to do much more about that. But maybe I can add this, and then fuse those together. That at least closes it up somewhat. And then I'd really like to have a bit more braking power, because at the moment deceleration is... Actually, deceleration is not that bad. Never mind. What else do I need? A roll could do with a bit of an improvement. And, of course, more crew quarters. More crew space. I can fit that in here. No, not like that. I want to keep this space over here to potentially upgrade the generator. So let's make it as wide as that. There. And now I have a crew quarters of 70. Unfortunately, I cannot fuse all of these blocks together. Oh, I can. Never mind. I thought it was not going to be as tall, but it is. It's fine. Right. You can also use... Oh, what were they called? Light blocks, I think. No, that's a flight... Here, iron light. And this is gonna... I've never actually used these, I gotta be honest. They provide a sort of shiny thing. You also have them in glow and you have them in hologram. So if I add something like this, it's going to add a big glow to the ship. I don't really know where I would use that, though. I mean, I could put them here, but this is going to be the area where I'm going to have another one of those sleeker titanium corners. Like this. Yeah, that does look decent. Now, the next bit is going to be upgrading this to armor. So if I want to upgrade this titanium corner to armor, I'm going to need another one. No, I'm going to need a total of 91 titanium. 78, yeah, there we go. It's unaffordable. So I'm going to have to wait in order to get those resources. What I might be able to do, though, is go and pick a fight and see how well she performs. Because once you have a ship built, you're automatically going to get a salvaging token for it. Now, what happens with this ship is that over here it has a reconstruction token. Oh, sorry, this one, the 7 Provincie. It has a reconstruction token, so if it gets destroyed, I can still get it repaired. And that's going to be particularly valuable, because what you don't want to have happen is that one of your expensive ships blows up and you lose everything. Let's see if the shipyard has anything for me to do. No, I cannot provide you with Tesla coils. We have a sheep farm over here. No. No. I do want the radar from the other ship. So I'm gonna transport over to the Venture. Venture is currently killing off another asteroid here. Let's quickly finish that up. Then I want to head over to the equipment dock, take off the radar system from the Venture, and put that over to the 7 provinces. The 7 Provincie. Actually, I'll rename it to 7 provinces. Slow down a bit. Tractor beam enabled. Alright. Press P. Systems. Oh, pirates are attacking the system. Perfect timing, guys. Perfect timing. Because now I can test out my new ship. So, show me these pirates. Here they are. This is going to be very risky. If I do at least some damage, I'll be able to get a bit of a reward. The pirates are engaging, but they're also being engaged over here by a corvette. That's a self-defense ship of this sector. Now, what ship is closest? Doesn't really matter. There's another one engaging with a corvette. Here we go. Let's try and get this thing a bit damaged. Yep, there we are. That's the chain guns doing the damage. And the lighter color are the salvaging lasers, which are doing some damage. And you can see that my hit point bar is going down, because I am taking damage. And we'll come back for the scrap later. I have to do damage first. There we go. I got 25,000 for defeating a pirate attack. More importantly, I can now turn off my main guns, go for this wreckage, and pick up some stuff from it. And I already got a couple of things. I already picked up a triple chain gun turret and another chain gun turret. Now contrast those to what I have currently on the ship. These do 27.2. These do 50 DPS. So this is already a hell of a lot better. So time to take off those turrets and at least replace one of them with a triple turret. If I give these side by side, you can see what the damage difference is. I had these on, 27.2 for for the standard uncommon chain gun turrets. 27.2 damage, or DPS, 1.6 damage. These do 2.9 damage. Fire rate's 5.8 versus 17.4. So they do fire a little bit slower. Still, this is a significant upgrade over my firepower, and that other chain gun turret does seem to be a fair bit better. So let's get those systems installed. I still need to drag this over here, install that permanently. Set these to weapon group 1 and disable weapon group 1. Now this craft still has some speed. It's moving away from me at about 86 meters per second, but it is slowing down. So now I'm going to move in and break it up into pieces. That will potentially give me more upgrades and more guns, because ships that are reduced to the wreckage state, well, they still have some parts that you can salvage from time to time. I'm getting a bit of titanium. I'm also getting a bit of iron. Oh, right. I need to set the Venture back to its mining duties. Off you go. There's another bit of the wreckage running away from me here. Now, finding wreckages that you caused sometimes is a bit of a struggle. What I usually try and do is find these clusters of shiny objects. That's usually a pretty safe way of finding this stuff. And what you can also see over here, it's a bit hard to point them out here. There's stuff that looks like it's, whoops, it is trying to pick it up, my ship, but it doesn't have the cargo space. What you see here are bits that flew off the ship, and with those bits I can then make new raw resources. So what I'm going to do is add a cargo bay and make sure that I can pick up those resources. First I'm going to draft it out of titanium, or sorry, out of iron. Let's make that fairly big. Is that the whole... No, this is not the whole block. This is the whole block. Also fills out the ship a bit more. And I picked up scrap titanium and scrap iron. It's not much, but every bit helps. Unfortunately, I think my cargo bay... No, it's not full yet. What is this? Okay, your cargo bay is not configured to collect this. This might be stolen loot that the pirate ship had on it. I'm not interested yet in collecting stolen wares, because it's a bit of a hassle, especially this early on, to get rid of them. I'm going to break this ship up into bits and hope that in the meanwhile my Venture is also working away, especially trying to mine additional asteroids with titanium, so I can build the ship faster. Let's see, there was another wreckage here. Yeah, that's the one. Look at that iron. I think the Venture just took another thing apart. 3,860 iron was added. And this is the benefit of having a couple of autonomous miners running around. Now this is something that I can pick up. This looks like a system upgrade. And it automatically gets swooped up if I get close enough. There we go, a basic trading system. A basic trading system allows you to see what the prices of goods are of all the stations in the sector. It gives you one big overview instead of having to check every single building. But for me it's not really what I need. I don't really intend to have any sort of mining ship, especially not now. So let's just right-click it, and that's going to make it go into the trash compartment. Or it's going to be marked as trash, which I can then quickly sell off at the equipment dock. Alright, let's tear this ship up. In the meanwhile, my mechanics have been hard at work to repair the ship. And the ship is now almost back to full strength. So yes, she'll take a bit of damage. That's unavoidable, especially with the when you don't have shields. But the mechanics do fix it. There's a couple of resources to pick up here. And then it's time to work this thing over. What do we have here? Oh, stuff that I cannot pick up because it's probably stolen. Let's tear this thing up. Bit of a trouble locking onto these things. It's all very, very small stuff now. I think I got the most of the wreckages. What do you want, freighter? Anything interesting around here? Traveling merchants, yeah, right, okay. It was this building, the military outposts. Oh, they got a research shortage for 100 electromagnetic charges. That's not something I can easily afford. Let's have a look at this unknown... No. I don't need you to go there. I need my ship to go there. Let's have a look at that. I'll also rename this ship to something that's easier to pronounce in English. This is the 7 provinces. Alright, look in the point of travel and press space. Alright. I think the game has not quite loaded up whatever this is supposed to be. Oh, it's another one of those container fields. Now, supposedly there is some loot in one of those containers, but I don't want to spend all that time trying to figure out which one it is. So let's go to the next sector. This looks like a bit of a scrapyard here. Or at least there is some scrap in it, but it's not an official scrapyard. I don't know why the game is causing this weird sort of skybox issue. I've never seen this before. Now my jump drive is recharging, and that's causing a lot of power drain. I did have the generator upgrade. I believe I did install it permanently. No, actually I didn't buy it. That's the thing, I didn't buy it. So it's going to take a bit of time before my jump drive reboots, or before it recharges. And in the meanwhile, I'm not able to travel very quickly, because I don't have the energy for it. I am able to move at the standard speed of my engines. 518 meters per second. There we go, now I'm recharging. Jump drive's ready to go. And in the meanwhile, let's take this ship apart. See what I can steal off of it. I'm not seeing any direct weapon emplacements. Maybe I can get some software upgrades for this ship. I've positioned myself at the bow of the ship to make it easier to just continue to tear it apart. In the meanwhile, the Venture is doing really well on iron, because I'm already looking at 10,000 iron. If that still goes for a price of about 4 a piece, then... whoa, now I got another 5,000. So, yeah, she's really slaving away very, very quickly. And with that, that's 16,000 times 4,000, that's about 60,000 iron if I sell almost all of it. I always try to keep some of the resource with me to make sure that I can keep building stuff out. Or do emergency repairs if I need them. Now, so far, I'm a bit disappointed with what this craft is giving me. I had expected a bit more. So I'm pretty much just stripping it for parts. but getting raw resources and not upgrades. Reorienting the camera a bit. It's just scrap stuff. It's not what I want. What do we have here? Another wreckage. You never quite know what you're going to find in these sectors which have a hidden mass signature in it. Sometimes it's stuff like this, sometimes it's, as I have shown you in the previous episode, a abandoned shipyard or an abandoned structure of some sort. Sometimes it's pirates. Sometimes there's a trap where pirates have laid down an ambush for you. Sometimes the pirates are really not that aggressive. There are also cases where you just find a smuggler base. And with that, any stolen goods that you have, you can upgrade that, or you can either sell them off to the smuggling outpost. So if you do your own raiding of either, let's say, friendly or enemy commerce, you can sell those things off, or you can unbrand them. So imagine that everything that you steal has a sort of serial number on it, and you unbrand it to make sure you can sell it to normal stations. I'm not getting that much from this ship either. Also, just going for scrap metal is not the most entertaining thing to do. I much prefer fighting enemy ships. That's also generally more profitable. Alright, where are we now? Oh, look at that. A Smuggler Outpost. Now, the Smuggler Outpost does have a bulletin. It wants me to provide 150 food. Which is not something I can probably easily do, because I don't have the cash for that, unless I start selling off my iron. Aside from that, there's not that much to do over here in this system. Alright, I reloaded my game, and now the whole skybox issue that I had a moment ago is gone. So it actually looks a bit better now. Let's use the map and see if there's any of those big asteroids that I might be able to claim and get a bit more cash from that. It is, however, hard to see because there's a lot of fog in this sector. Let's see if there's anything in here. I'm again looking for one of those weird-shaped asteroids. There is a bit of iron in this sector, but it's really pretty sparsely populated. With asteroids, that is, or rich asteroids. So, no, let's just continue on with our journey and have a look at this unknown hidden mass signature. And jump. Oh, what do we have here? Pirates. Pirates which are seemingly guarding a couple of wreckages. That's interesting. How many are there? 4 pirates in total. 2 bandits, an outlaw, and a pirate. And they are already insulting my ship design. I think I'm gonna have to teach these gentlemen a lesson. Because them be fighting words. And I'll not have people just insult my insult my ship. So here we go, into conflict. Fortunately, these pirate ships really don't have a lot of health. So time to test that new chain gun out. Look at that. Cute little ship you got there. Shame if something happened to it. And that's one pirate ship less. Into the next. This is when I wanted, or why I wanted that ship to turn so quick, and it does. 7 provinces is really quite capable of turning around quickly. This thing, however, is also really fast, this pirate ship, so I'm going to try and knock off some engines. Making it less quick, so I can make sure it doesn't get away from me. Oh, don't bump into it. Fire all thrusters. Let's get those guns disabled. I'm taking a bit of damage, but I'm not too worried about it. She goes next. This one's going really quick. And she's dead. And there's the last one. This might be the bigger one. Structural integrity is down to about half. But this one's going down faster than I am. Targets destroyed. Alright, guns off. Salvaging laser on. I did get... Oh, what was that? Was that a red laser? No, it was just a standard chain gun turret. A standard chain gun turret. Nothing really out of the ordinary, unfortunately. Oh shit, they jumped in more ships. See ya! How many? 3? 4. Crap. How much titanium do I have? 139. That's not really that much. What I can do, and this is really only doable if you're playing this in first player, or in single player, is adjust your ship on the fly. Otherwise the game does not allow you to pause it. So what I'll do is enable the mirror mode again, and just try to replace some of these blocks into titanium, or no, iron armor. Here's what happens. Look at the amount of whole hit points. It's 2.06k, so 2.06 thousand. If I change this into iron armor, it jumps up to 2.29. 2.53. Edge armor here. 1 iron armor blocks. Oh! Yeah, right. Okay. This one then. And over here we have a directional thruster. I cannot really change that one, but I can change this and that and... Nope, not that one. Hold up. And these thrusters I cannot really properly armor up, at least not like this. So maybe it's time to expand the ship a bit more. Whoops. Like that. And then rotate that around. Like that. And then just a couple of edge armor pieces, making sure that I can take a few more hits. Just has to be a lot longer. No, not that much longer. Here we go, that's the one. Rotate that. And that's the other one. So now I have 4,000 hit points, so I effectively doubled the amount of hit points that I have. A few weak points are still left on the ship, and that's the top and the bottom. So I'm going to put a small layer of armor on the top of the ship, making sure that whatever impact I take there don't immediately start wrecking stuff. There. And the same thing on the bottom. I know it doesn't look that pretty, but it's more of a panic situation that I have to adjust the ship now. Otherwise, I'm going to run into trouble. And I won't be able to adjust it. Now, since I used up a bit of titanium, because I replaced it with iron, I can at least replace these sections with titanium armor. And that's going to give me a few more hit points as well, but also allow these things to still be seated. Alright. Oh, this thing as well. That was corner armor. Upgraded. So now I have 5.5 thousand hit points. The ship, however, is going to respond a lot more sluggish. But look at the hit point bar. It didn't quite refill, it just got bigger. So now I am back in this fight. And I upgraded, but the pirates very much did not. So now I have much more of a fighting chance against these guys. The armor should negate quite a few of the impacts. And I think that if I kill off these ships, I'll be able to salvage quite a decent haul off of them. Hopefully weapons. Go on, get him. That's the one. Alright. Geez, she really got a lot more sluggish. Oh, coming right at me here. Target destroyed. Oh, is that a gun? It is indeed. It's a triple chain gun. Well, don't mind if I do. Because that now allows me to get a lot more DPS out. Oh, they just ran into each other. Mistake. You're a mistake. Oh shit, it's not dead, is it? No, it is. Keep shooting. Destroyed. Alright, the piece has been restored. Oops. Not quite. There's a torpedo on the way. Oh, there's 4 more pirate ships. What do we have? A marauder. Marauders are bigger ships. They tend to launch torpedoes at you. Ow. So you have to go down first, Sunshine. Come on. Demolish it faster, because they're also demolishing my ship. Down. Next up. Maintain fire. Venture reports that I cannot find any more asteroids. That's fine. I'll check into that in a second. Target destroyed. And over here. I think it only has a gun on the nose because it's no longer firing at me. Destroyed. Right. That was quite a bit of conflict. My ship's structural integrity has dropped quite a lot. I started out with 5.5 thousand hit points, and I'm down to only 37% of that. So, it's time to let the engineers and the mechanics do their job and repair this ship, because it's going to need a bit of repair work. Get the Instafix and the duct tape. Because we might have a couple of holes in this hull. In the meanwhile, let's set up the Venture. Let's see if there's more asteroids to mine. This might be a generally peaceful sector, so continue to mine over there. Let's see. Oh, do you see that? That right there. That is a better tier item. So let's swoop in and see what they have for me here. A cannon turret. Oh dear. A cannon turret is really quite powerful, because the ones that I've been firing, these guns, these triple chain gun turrets, here's another one. They do 50 DPS, 2.9 damage per hit. They fire fast, but it doesn't really do a lot of damage. These ones fire very, very slowly. 0.6 rate of fire, so it takes about 1.2 seconds to reload one of these. And they do 333 damage when they hit. They do 190 DPS, so contrast that to 50, and one of these is a lot more powerful than, well, even 2 of these combined. The problem is, though, it has a requirement of 3 slots. And currently I only have 2 armed turret slots available. So first I'm going to have to upgrade the ship, making sure I have enough room to add that cannon turret. And for that I'll need a turret upgrade. So I think I'm going to tear these things up. In the meanwhile, let the engineers and the mechanics repair the ship. Hopefully no more pirates will randomly appear. And I can then go back to the equipment dock and get some stuff sold. Especially the stuff that I don't implant or intend to start using. Oh, there's another gun system here. Thank you very kindly. That's another double chain gun. It is, however, a pretty bad tier. Also, the reversal thruster for this ship really needs an upgrade. Backing off from something is dreadfully slow. How much do I have in my cargo bay? 142 scrap iron and 36 scrap titanium. Oh, that's not too bad. Alright, let's break up this one. There's not that much left to break up, though. Here's another thing. Oh, hold on. This is one of those wreckages that the pirates seem to be defending. Let's zip over there and see what I can find. And meanwhile, structural integrity is back, or hull integrity is back at 40%. So up 3%. All of this additional iron is making the ship really quite heavy. So speeding up and slowing down is not something that it does terribly well anymore. I think there might be titanium on this ship. Judging by how much resistance it's giving to the mining laser. Or the salvaging laser. Those are the crew quarters over there. Interact. Search for information. No fighting, no sightings of Zotan, pirates or enemy factions. Haha. The first mate has suggested to divert from our usual route. He claims he has heard of troubles. We will change our course accordingly. It was a trap. The first mate was working for the pirates. When we jumped into the sector, we were suddenly faced with a whole fleet of pirates. We're trying to fight our way out of this, but it does look grim. So, yep, and that was the end of the message. I'm sorry, guys, but the fact that you didn't make it does mean that I'm going to tear your ship apart. I will definitely be needing a much improved salvaging laser, though. This thing is really quite painfully slow. In the meanwhile, the Venture has done really well, and I'm now sitting on a pile of 28,000 iron. It's still relatively little compared to what I'm going to need for big ships. But it is definitely something that helps out. And if I sell off that iron, I might make either the Venture a bigger ship with more mining lasers, or I could go with an additional mining ship and make sure that I get even more resources. It looks like we're not going to get a whole lot from these ships, though. Nah, never mind. There are also some scraps up ahead, right here. Some more wreckages, and I was more focused on destroying these pirate ships than having a look at their wreckages and see what they dropped. Later on, you can get an upgrade, which allows you to get loot from greater range, but I don't have that. So I'm going to have to fly quite close to stuff in order to find if it has anything, and you'll see those with the same purple-bluish outline that I showed you just a moment ago when I picked up the cannon. Not a lot to find here. Bit more scrap. More scrap on this side. Really hoping for some better guns, but so far, no joy. Alright, are there any other wreckage fields? This is a pretty big ship. Looks like it might have been part of the original group that got ambushed, because it has the same design. This is definitely not the ship that I had a look at previous. Because that was, I think, that one over somewhere in that direction. Up, if there is such a thing in space. Look at that, the Venture has now found a titanium mine, or titanium asteroid, and that's really helpful. So that's going to allow me to get better, faster with this ship. Iron is a decent resource, but it makes your ship so sluggish. And I really don't want that. I'm not seeing any weapon emplacements, so it's possible that this was just some sort of freighter. And that it really didn't have much beyond a couple of engines, a crew compartment, and a bunch of cargo bays. So I think I'm not going to get a lot from this ship. did apparently detach part of the ship. Looks like that might have been the bridge that I just blew up. If there is such a thing on this ship. Nah, never mind. Let's go back to the equipment dock. It's over there, so it's going to be 2 jumps. There's nothing more to explore here, really. So let's head off. Alright, that's the 1 jump. Oh, I jumped into another pirate ship. Lovely. And the pirate ship is jamming my hyperspace engine. That's the jump drive. So I'll not be able to get quickly away from this thing unless I blow it up. If that's what has to be done, then we'll just have to go ahead and do that. Main gun's active. It is coming at me. Now I can see over here that it has a firepower of 60 Omicron. That's how the game measures it. My ship, by comparison, has a firepower of 146 Omicron. So I have a lot more firepower. And I don't expect this ship to be able to put up too much of a fight. My concern, however, is that it might not so much be this ship that's putting up a fight, but its friends. If it calls in reinforcements. Mission accomplished. I think I accomplished a tutorial mission of sorts by accident. Oh, a turret control system. Look at that. That's excellent. This turret control system allows me to add 1 more unarmed slot. And I don't really need that for this ship, but I can definitely use that on the Venture. Because that will allow it to very quickly mine more asteroids. Now, my energy is still being drained by my hyperdrive. Let's see, I did have that one area, I think. Yeah, over there. That's where I was planning on putting a bigger generator. Or... no, sorry, I already filled that up. Okay. Just have to elongate the ship then. Bigger generator. Not that big. Bit less wide, bit less tall. Like that. Oh, not that big. Here. Alright, now I'm generating more power again. Let's fuse them together, make it one big block. Alright, recharge done in 8 seconds. I still need to get closer. Pointed in the intended direction of travel, and jump. Alright, this is an empty sector, which means my jump drive clears or recharges faster. And with that, I can just make that last jump towards Unyielding Serenity 3, where is... yeah, there's the equipment dock. Okay, first things first. Where is their resource depot? Over there. I'm asking because I want to sell off some of the, at this point, 38,000 iron that I have available. It's going to give me more cash, and with more cash I can upgrade the ship again. And if this has any titanium available, I might even buy that. Unfortunately it doesn't. It wants me to deliver 8,000 iron. That's easy. It's going to pay me a premium in order to get that iron to this station. So that's a nice bonus that I wasn't particularly expecting. Oh, she's really sluggish at slowing down. Tractor beams, hold. Okay, here we go. If you're coming into a dock for docking, you can use their tractor beams, and that really helps. So, sell off 8,000 iron. That got me a neat 68,000. And then I'm going to sell off another 25,000. 196,000. There we go. Alright. Now let's see what I have in my inventory. I do have that turret control system. I don't want to sell that. I do not need this double chain gun turret. Because it's petty quality, which is the lowest quality I have. I don't need these 2 chain gun turrets. I don't need that one. And I don't need that one. I might stick to this one. So the next stop is going to be the equipment dock. Selling off what I don't need. Oh, before I forget, this is the repair feature that I was talking about. If I click repair, the game is going to say I can fix the ship instantly for 13,000 credits, which I have. It's going to take 1,500 iron, which I have, but I don't have 1,100 titanium. So I'm not going to go ahead and do that. I'm just going to let the mechanics continue to slave away. And get this thing back up. And here we are. Okay, trade equipment. Sell off the trash items. This is not trash, by the way. And that is another 30,000-ish. Yeah, 28,000. Okay, upgrades. What do you have available that I would like? This is a turret control system for armed or unarmed. That's not bad. A radar upgrade. That I already have. You can always add more of these things, and that just adds more radar range. The generator upgrade is not a very good one. See, if I install this permanently, I'm going to have 4 slots for main guns. So that would be 3 for the big cannon, and then 1 for a chain gun. But that's going to make it even more critical that I have the ship and be able to turn around very, very quickly. Because that cannon has to hit, especially with a poor rate of fire. If I go for turrets instead, I can get double chain gun turrets, which do 55 DPS. And the alternative is double bolter turrets. 200% damage to hull. That is actually really nice. Because I'm only fighting ships which have a hull. They don't have any armor. And that means that I'm effectively not putting out almost 100 DPS, but double that. It is almost going to blow through the entire budget though, and that's not what I want. I want to get another mining ship going. So let's get... Oh, double mobile mining merchant. Let's see, what do you have available there? Sometimes these big cargo ships pop up, and they will sell anything to you. So let's see what this guy has. Double iron salvaging turret. It's a bit underwhelming what he has. Here's another chain gun turret. Nah. No, in that case, I'll go ahead with the original plan and get another mining ship. So, let's... Come on, I wasn't docked. There we go. Trade equipment. I'm gonna need a couple of mining lasers. And let's go for... Let's see, it doesn't really matter because it's out of sector mining anyway. They have 2 slots each, but I do have that upgrade, so I can have 4 mining turrets on a ship. Let's go for 2 more. I'm just going for titanium and iron. Otherwise, I'd be going for a titanium mining laser, so I can also mine Ionut. But I'm not quite at that tier yet. So I now have most of the ingredients to build a new ship. I have a bit of iron, and that's all that I need for a mining ship, because it doesn't have a lot of combat capability, nor does it need it. This ship I cannot quite upgrade yet. So unfortunately, there's no real way to get this thing more powerful. And that building of that new mining ship, I'll do in the next episode. For now, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this more combat-oriented episode. Again, let me know what your thoughts are on it, on the episode, and on the background music from Avorion. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think about this format, and if it's helping you guys, just have it on in the background or relax with it, as was the intent. So thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon for the next Avorion episode.